going on, guys? So today I'm going to make a quick video on lapping in your new flywheel. So when you go to build these engines, if you're going to change your flywheel to an aftermarket flywheel to an aluminum flywheel billet, this is a cast aluminum 10,000 RPM flywheel. The same parameter goes for both, whether you're doing cast or billet. You want to match your mating surfaces, meaning your taper on your flywheel to the taper on your crank. And the way you do that is you get some valve grinding compound. You put a little bit on your crank, or you can put it on the inside of your flywheel. Take your flywheel, set it on your crank, and you basically work it back and forth like this. And what that'll do is it'll match your taper on your crank to the taper on your flywheel, or the taper on your flywheel to the taper on your crank. This is a harder metal than your flywheel, so it'll get the mating surfaces where they need to be. That way, when you put this on, it has a much better bite, better lock, and it'll seat properly. So we're going to do that real quick. I was getting ready to prep this flywheel, so I figured I'd record it and kind of show you guys what I do. It's a pretty common practice. This is the way that most people do it, so I will walk you through how I do it. So, like I said, take a little bit of valve grinding compound. I usually just smear some on my finger and rub it around on your crank. Now, you don't want to go crazy with this stuff, but at the same time, you want to use enough that you're going to be making a difference. Valve grinding compound, if you guys haven't messed with it or used it before, it's basically liquid sandpaper. It's got hardened metals in it. All right, now that it's on there, you're going to take your flywheel, put it on that taper. And what you're going to have to do, if you don't have a crank stop tool to hold the other side, you're going to have to hold it with your hand. Grab a hold of your flywheel and just work it back and forth. Take a rag and put it on the other side. Sometimes that helps. Hold the crank a little bit and not tear your hand up. Now, when you're doing this, you'll hear a real gritty sound when you first start doing this, and then it'll kind of quiet down some. That's when you know that your material that you have in there is kind of mated along with your valve grinding compound is kind of broken down. So I pull it off and kind of re-smear it, move it around a little bit, then go back on there and do it again. There, it started quieting down a little bit more. All right. That's pretty much it. It's pretty quick and easy to do. Doesn't take a whole lot of time. Okay. After you're done with that, go ahead and wipe your surfaces off, and I'll show you. You can kind of see where this is started mating. Oh, and before you do this, make sure you pull your key out of the crankshaft. If you leave your key in, you're not going to be able to turn it. All right, so bring you guys over to it. You can kind of see. You can kind of see right there. So you have like a marred, not really marred, just a surface right there. That's working the flywheel into the crank. And if you take a look at your flywheel too, you can kind of see where it's smooth out back here, and then you kind of have a discoloration right here. That's working that into the crank. So that's kind of what you want. I usually do it, I don't know, 3 or 4 times just to make sure that there's a good surface there. That definitely wasn't enough. So just make sure you keep working at it until you feel comfortable that the surfaces are mated properly. That got me about halfway there, so I'm going to do it probably 2 more times and we should be good to go. So thanks for watching. Remember, as you guys are starting to build these and you get new crankshafts or excuse me, new flywheels, added parts onto your engine, make sure you do this. It makes those surfaces made up a lot better, and kind of helps with longevity and unnecessary forces within your flywheel. It pulls it together nicely. So, thanks for watching. Have a good one.